we didn't mean to fog you. We actually thought you were like a Yeti or something. Hi.
So you like to shave hair better.
What? Yeti? I'm Danny?
Steve? Hello?
Put aside the fact that you accidentally picked up my grandmother's ring and you accidentally proposed to Rachel.
People do this. I don't really know what that means. I'm sorry.
Alright. That's funny, but it just shows a bunch of different physical motions that bring different reactions, right? Alright, so we look for clues in human behavior, we read their body language, facial expressions, actions, clothing, and if they don't seem to fit in the current environment. So I'll go through these. The body, face, hands, body, waistband, surrounding area. That's how I look at everyone as they approach me. Face tells me your intentions. Hands, carry it out. Body, waistband, where people can hide weapons. And then surrounding areas or anybody with you that I need to worry about. Right? So, human behavior and they don't fit in current environment. You have a group of people, everyone's talking, laughing, and there's one person kind of standing on the outside with a serious look on his face. Right? So that's one person out of a group that's having a good time. That's probably the person I'm going to look at and go, why is this person not acting like the rest of them? If you go into a church and somebody's very loud, that's different, right? You go into a nightclub and somebody's really quiet, that's different, right? So in the environments that we are in, we start to see the outliers, right? Why is this person not acting like the rest of the people around us? Facial expressions. The minute so when I go out to dinner, lunch, whatever, I sit and I face the door. And as people walk in, I read them. It's just something I do. And usually you see people happy, smiling, going out to dinner, whatever. It's that person walking in that I see the tension in his jaw, the eyes darting. When I get to the hands, I see him doing this with his hands, making fists. What's going on here? Why am I seeing that? What is it telling me as an observer? Clothing, if it's 95 degrees out, right, and the guy's got 3 coats on and a hat, and he's walking into some place, what am I thinking about that? What am I learning from that? All right, so posing, different poses, right? Different facial expressions. So what are the different facial expressions we see here? What do we think this facial expression is?
Happy.
In her pose. Do you see happy? Does anyone see anything else?
Confident.
Huh?
Confident.
That's what I see. Confidence. That's a power pose right there. Right? That's a very confident person. How about this one?
Angry.
Angry. That was pretty easy, isn't it? There's not much else I'm going to see from that. With the narrowing of the eyes, the scrunching of the nose, and obviously the finger pointing here, never a good idea. Right? Never a good idea to point your finger at someone. That never works. Here, so this is called arms akimbo. Have you ever heard that? So that's what they call this, arms akimbo. And it's a power pose. This steepling is another power pose. right? That's a confidence power pose. Here, the tightening of the lips, right? He's not very happy. He's not angry like him, but I guess I've seen that look before from my father when I was growing up, right?
Disappointing.
Sorry, Dad, I didn't mean it. Right? That's that.
It could also be an anxious
Right.
face. So you just skip that face long.
The what?
You just skip the resting with the right? Yeah.
Where?
The resting face.
Fur, the narrowing of the eyes?
Yeah.
Yeah. That is a
Resting face.
I dare you.
I'm thinking of something here. I'm looking to conspire a little bit, and I'm not happy about what I'm seeing. Yeah. Yeah. That's she's contemplating
Yeah.
a lot. He's already past the contemplation,
Yeah.
right? He's already into the violence. He's already into the angry. She's in the contemplation. All right, so arms crossed. We talk about this a lot. What can arms crossed mean? Because we see this a lot when we're skating. Can it mean defiant anger, right? Sometimes.
Especially from little.
Stress relief? Comfortable?
Well, I don't hear.
Are you comfortable? Yeah. Are you still listening to me?
Yes, I am.
You better say. Comfort, frustration, power pose, right? Levels is another thing, right? Why do you think judges sit up here on the stand and we're all down here? It's that power, looking down on someone, right? Mirroring, that's another one. So mirroring is if somebody is a little more advanced, a little more powerful than you, and they give you this pose, you'll see a lot of people do. It's called mirroring. I mirror how you are as we're having a conversation. Masking insecurities, or maybe it's just gold, right? So we can't just look at somebody with crossed arms and think they will listen, right? Because that's not always the case. So what's this one? What do you see there?
It's like power.
Power pose?
Yeah.
That's what I see. How about that?
Relaxing.
Comfortable. Yeah, happy, comfortable. He's not mad, he's still listening. It's just a comfort pose. That one?
Oh,
Fine. I just told her she couldn't have her favorite toy or whatever. Right. How about that? Cold maybe? Happy? What would you call that one? Do you think he feels a little inadequate next to him?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think he's closed off a little bit. Feels a little insecure around him. Now, baby brother, mirroring, right? He's looking right at him, and he's like, "Oh, I could do that too. I look like my brother." Be good. Disinterested?
Yeah.
Power pose? Power pose? That's right. That means, I mean business pose. Right? That's, you ain't coming through here. And then she's told. Alright. So attention. When people are paid attention to, they feel validated. They feel important. That's really, really important. I've been on calls, shootings, stabbings, domestics, fightings, and then the guy with the stolen bicycle that his son left out front. I can't, when he's telling me he worked extra hours to save up money to get this bike, I can't look at him and go, okay, give me your information, because I just came from a shooting and a stabbing and a, right? His problem is as important to me, and I have to validate that, right? And this happened. This happened. I actually went from a shooting, a stabbing, a gang fight, to fairgrounds where this guy said, my son left his bike, but I just got it for him, and he was so upset. And I had to validate him just as important as any other call I had, right? I listen, I look him in the eye. I tell him how important this call is to me. Not that I just need your information and need you go. We pay attention to a conversation by listening, but mostly nonverbal actions, meaning body language and eye contact, right? If you're telling me something that's very important to you, and you see me go, right, what did that just do to you? Yeah, it just made you say, you don't care about me, you don't care what I'm saying. But the difference is you're telling me something important, and I make eye contact and I'm listening. That validates people, and it's important to
The
validate.
way you make eye contact.
Yes.
If you make eye contact a certain type of way, you might feel a certain type of way, like you're being sarcastic too, but you can tell it in your eyes. That's what
That. Then you get the huff, then the shoulders, and it's just the whole body. You can read people so easily, and I'm sure you've all done it. But the people you have here, when you're trying to help someone and you see them go, like, I don't want your help. You don't know what I'm going through, right? And we don't know what people go through. Somebody can be smiling at you, and that's not what they're thinking either. So there is masking also. There is masking. You're telling me I shouldn't be in this room, and I'm like, oh, I know I shouldn't be, right? And it's masking, and you need to watch out for that too. We can understand that a person's trying to get across more by their body language than by what's coming out of their mouth most of the time. All right. Active listening. Active listening. This is about the most universal tactic that can be applied to de-escalation. Very few other tactics will work without active listening, and often it can work on its own. The average person listens for 17 seconds before interrupting. But during that 17 seconds, they're formulating a response. And that is the worst thing you can do, right? And we've all met these people. My stepdaughter's boyfriend, 20, she might have woke up, but great. No, I love him. He was a great kid, he really was. But I think he had OCD a little bit, and he just, you'd be telling him something the whole time you see one. He just couldn't wait to get his point across. And he didn't hear a thing you said. So I would test him all the time. I'd tell him something, and I'd say to him, yeah, but, right, the yeah, but people, yeah, but, and then I'd say, all right, stop. And I said, what exactly did I say to you? Well, you know, you were trying to say, you didn't hear a thing I said, right? So we have to pay attention to what people are saying and let them talk. A lot of times de-escalating is just letting people talk and get it off their chest. And I listen to them. And when they take a breath, when they're done, then I'll say what I have to say. But I can't be thinking about what I'm going to say the whole time they're talking, because then I don't hear them. I don't hear what they're saying or what they're trying to get across. So my answers might not be real good, right? All right, tactics. 4 key components for effective de-escalation. Staying in your higher brain, not getting emotional, and that's tough. Yeah. Right? That's tough. It's even harder at home, isn't it? When you have that conversation with your significant other. Trying to stay in your higher brain, not becoming emotional. Setting boundaries, right? So, as workers speaking to people, you can set boundaries. And even at home, you can set boundaries. I mean, I have boundaries at home with my wife, right? I don't swear at her. I don't yell. I don't scream. We have adult conversations, and we try not to, it's hard, but you try not to say mean things, right? But what do we do when we get in arguments? We get emotional. And then it's the mean things. They say something mean, I'm going to say something meaner, and it doesn't help anything. Same thing here, right? So we set boundaries, I'll talk more about that. Developing rapport. How do we develop rapport? Is body language, listening, hearing what they have to say, empathy instead of sympathy. We all understand that, right? I understand you're going through a hard time. Right? I'm not going, oh, poor baby, that's so bad. I'm so sorry for you. No. I get you're having a tough time here. And I do feel for you. But how are we going to make it better? Right? That's my job, is to try to make your life a little better. So how would I do that? And then presenting options. Right? Presenting options, as a police officer, I will present you with options. All the options I present you with will benefit me. That's how it is, right? So, domestic. I'm not leaving, she's leaving. She's the one that started it, rah, rah, rah. Like, okay, instead of being mean and saying, listen, you either leave or I'm going to take your ass to jail. That never works, right? So I go, hey, I understand what's going on. Here are some options. I can take you to your family's house. There was no violence involved. I can take you, I'll give you a ride wherever you want to go. You need to call somebody. I've arrested people on warrants and no violence, everything went well. And when I put them in the car, they go, hey man, can you just swing by my house so I can get my bond money? This is when you had to do bond. I go, yeah, I don't care. What's the problem, right? Why not? The more you can understand, have a little empathy for people, and work with them, the better it all comes after that.
In a perfect world. In a perfect world.
There's not. There's never a perfect world. And that's why I said de-escalation only works if both people want it. Violence can only be fixed by greater or more violence, unfortunately. Right? If I'm punching you in the face, if I'm doing that and you're trying to de-escalate me, you're behind the curtain because violence has already started. And all the talking in the world is not going to help you. Right? So we have to understand that. And I know a lot of people are against violence. Oh, violence is bad. Yeah, but it happens. So we have to decide where we're going to land on it. All right, avoid an emotional response. Prior to responding to a verbally aggressive person, take 2 quick inhales through your nose, then a nice relaxed breath out of your mouth, focusing on exhalation. All right, have you guys heard of like combat breathing, square breathing? This isn't that. Combat breathing is 3 big inhales and hold it for 4 seconds. Exhale for 4 seconds. Inhale for 4 seconds. That's not what we're doing here. This is just 2 quick inhales through your nose and exhale. It brings everything down. When you're driving and somebody's driving you crazy and cutting it, and you start getting that road rage, take that 2 quick inhales and exhale, and you'll feel the energy start to calm down a little bit. When you get in an argument with your wife or husband, take them 2 big inhales, exhale, before you say something that you're going to regret later and have to apologize for it. Right? That's how it usually happens. So, everybody, give me 2 quick inhales. Get that long exhale. Let it out. Why are you shaking your head? I'm going to laser you.
Can't do that.
Oh, watch. You're talking to me? I just did.
I just got it.
You got what? Why? Because I'm breathing?
Yes, you're breathing.
You want me to not breathe? What? I'll hold my breath back. I can do this, trust me, it works. Also, if you're having trouble sleeping, right, breathing helps you. So I've been in the martial arts my whole life, and we would do breathing exercises. But when I'm laying in bed, if my mind's just going a mile a minute because I'm thinking about everything I have to do, and I can't fall asleep, I will do my breathing. I breathe in through my toes, circle in my stomach, and out through my fingertips. In through my fingertips, circle in my stomach, out through my toes. And after about 5 or 6 of these, I can actually feel the breath moving through my body. Try it. You'll be amazed. If you concentrate, you really concentrate on it, you will feel that air circling in your stomach and then releasing. and it'll start to take all the tension away, and you'll be able to sleep a little better. Or just take the nighttime night bowl, whatever. Repeat as necessary. This can slow the pace of the interaction and keep you functioning in the higher brain. When setting boundaries for people who do not recognize them on their own, you have to make sure you're direct, right? Listen, I'm having a conversation with you, and you're getting too close to me, and you need to be direct and say, listen, I'd love to talk to you, I'd love to have this conversation, but you need to stay a little bit distance so we can have this conversation. You have to be direct and let them know what your boundaries are. Speak in a low, calm voice under most circumstances. Right? Somebody's screaming, you start screaming, guess what? Everybody's screaming. Somebody's screaming. I was in a house, everybody was screaming and hollering, and I just sat there. And I said, well, what are we going to do? How are we going to make this work? What do I need to do to help you guys out? And they're still screaming, and I'm still talking in a low voice. Pretty soon, everybody stops screaming because they're looking at me going, what? What are you saying? And it calms everybody down. If I start screaming with them, then we're all just screaming, right? Now, are there times that I need to raise my voice?
Yep.
Absolutely. But if I start out with, listen, I'm going to tell you, blah, 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 there's no place to go from there. Right? Where if we're having a conversation and you keep me and I go, listen, please, I need you to step back while we have this conversation. And then I lower my voice again and we have more of a conversation. Right? But there are times I need to elevate it also. Get your attention. Simple, directive, speak plainly. This used to drive me crazy. Police officers who thought they were doctors or whatever, and they'd use all these big words on people, and people were looking at them like, what are you saying? Just speak plainly. Don't try to be somebody you're not. Right? I had another guy I worked with, white guy, that no matter where, when he went to the Hispanic community, like, oh, hey, whatever he would say. He go into the black community and say, what's up, bro? And I'm thinking, oh my God, you're embarrassing me. Right? And I was like, don't have to back me up anymore. Be who you are. Don't be a chameleon and try to be who they are. Right? Because they know you're not. They know you're not. Speak in positives, not negatives. This is a big thing. Right? Always speak in positives. Here's what we can do for you. Here's how we can help you. Now, if you don't do this, then you can just get back on the street, right? That's negative. That's not helping anyone. So we try to speak in positives. What can we do to make this better for all of us? Speak from common ground, especially dealing with mental illness. This happened. Talking to someone and they start talking to no one, right? And I go, excuse me, who are you speaking to? What are you doing? And I'm talking to the, pink elephant right over there, or whatever. I can't go, oh, that pink elephant? Hey, pink elephant. They know I don't see the pink elephant, right? So at that point I can say, okay, I believe that you believe you see something. I do not see that. So if we could just turn this conversation back to me and you, maybe we can find common goals and go from there, right? But don't try to fool. Even though there's mental illness, they know you don't see that. They know you're just, now you're making fun of them, right? So we don't do that.
Sir, I have a question.
Yep.
Oh, thank you. So, the volume one, that's really key.
Yeah.
There are key moments in our shelters where everyone's coming in a rush, say after dinner, before bedtime, where it's easy for the noise to be loud. You basically stated always start calm, only raise your voice if necessary. When you have like a bunch of people, different conversations going on at once, it's hard for everyone to actually get your attention. What would you, or for you to get everyone's attention, reverse that. What would you recommend? Is there any quick, loud cue?
Well, first and foremost, set boundaries.
Sure.
Right? So if there's quiet time or we don't want, we can say, hey, inside voices, we need a little more quiet in here and let people know what the boundaries are.
Sure.
And if it starts going over from that, just going, instead of, if that group back there is getting loud, right? I don't go, hey, enough! Because then I just embarrass them in front of everybody.
Right.
So that would be the group I would walk over and I go, hey, real quick, can you guys bring it down a minute? I'm trying to say something. Get personal.
Okay.
Get personal with it. But set boundaries right away too. Let people know that, I mean, you guys have boundaries. You can't be on drugs, can't be alcohol, right? There's certain things, rules that you have in here, and that's what basically boundaries are. And if it's, we need you to be a little more quiet at this time, let them know. Okay. All right, thank you. Oh, this thing.
It's a power saver.
Yeah.
General, let's talk about style, if you will. Does it help to be a big guy with a gruff voice who looks like if he had to, he could back his order up with whatever it took?
I've known some pretty sensational leaders that would whisper to you, and you lean forward to get every word, because you want to make sure you heard what they said. No, I don't think so. I think the important thing is everybody has their own style. The people that fail, the people that are terrible players, are the people who try and adopt a style that really isn't them. You see it out there all the time. Somebody who tries to be, the tackle on the football team and just doesn't, that's not them at all. Everybody, the troops can pick out a phony in a heartbeat. You just can't fool the troops. And so it's crazy to try and adopt a style that's not you. Be yourself. That really, I think, is a very, very important first step in leadership.
Right, great comment. Be yourself, don't try to be someone else. People will pick out that person that you're not. All right, verbal skills. Ask, don't tell. This is a big thing, right? You mind handing me your pen for a second? Thank you. Right? Hey, give me your pen. Big difference, isn't it? Because I'll give you that pen. Right? Asking people to do things works a lot better than telling them. Now, I'm not saying there's not times, so when the police is, ask them, tell them, make them. So we always start with asking, right? Reason I pulled you over, blah, 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 I just need to see your license, please. Why don't I? Ma'am, I need your license. So I went from ask to tell, and then if things escalate from there and I can't bring them back down, then you have to make it. So the way I train police officers are, if you are cooperative, I want to keep you cooperative. If you are not cooperative, I want to turn you cooperative. It's just so much easier than fighting all the time, right? You get hurt, you break bones. I've had surgeries and from having to fight people. So it's a lot easier if we can get through this by way of speaking. Speak in a low, calm tone. Remember that people react to feelings, not circumstances. Explain why you're doing what you're doing. Very often people go along with if they know the why. This is important. Instead of just telling someone to do something, right? Sir, you get up and go turn that light off. Or, hey, can you do me a favor? It's kind of bright here. I could use it. Would you mind helping me in getting that light turned off? Sure. Right. I told him why I wanted it. I didn't just bark and come in, right? Telling people the why is really important. Don't speak about people. Common work is best. Distance and positioning. Be sensitive to changes in distance. Somebody's starting to get a little excited, and at first you're in a pretty good distance position, but during the conversation, they're getting mad, and now I'm in close enough proximity to strike you, right? So understand that positions. Avoid poor positioning choices such as submissive and uncomfortable, right? I would never call someone in to have a conversation with me and be seated and have them stand over. That's just never a good idea. I use desks. I can use things to keep in between us. I like to have an exit if I can, right? Different things that want to stay off the X, splits under stance. Does everyone know what that means? So all that is in a comfortable stance. A comfortable stance with head over shoulders, shoulders over hips, hips over feet at all times. I can move in any direction comfortably. I don't want to sit and talk to you like this, because if an attack does happen, I'm not in a good position to protect myself, right? Everyone needs to act like they're Italian, right? If I put my hands in my pockets, I stutter, because I've knocked people's glasses over, drink, because this is how I talk with my hands. This is what Italians do. But my hands are always here as I'm speaking to people. That way, if an attack does occur, I can protect the pretty. That's going to make me millions one day. I'm just waiting for the call. All right. So my hands are always here as I'm speaking to people. Not in my pockets, not behind my back, right? Here. And you know, you can be comfortable, and you can be here, be here. My hands are always here as I'm speaking. Use the environment, desk. All right. Most confrontations start with verbal jousting. Don't get caught up in that. That's it. Right, that verbal jousting of, sir, I need you to please, I need you to leave, or whatever we're talking about. Well, I don't need to leave. Yes, you do. No, I don't. Yeah, I told you to do. No, you didn't ask me politely. I don't need to ask you politely. Now we're in this verbal jousting. We might as well have swords, right? Avoid that. Two big words to remember that will almost always help you dealing with anyone: respect and courtesy. Pre-attack indicators. Grooming. Okay, so pre-attack indicators are I'm having a conversation with someone, and now I start seeing physical signs that make me become a little more aware, right? First one's grooming. So what this is here, I'm grooming, I'm talking, cracking knuckles, any hand motions up by my neck, my face, my collarbone, here, wiping. I have a lot of anxiety in me, and I'm trying to wipe it away as I'm having this conversation with you. That's a big one, right? I see that a lot. Weight shifting. Having a conversation with someone, and they start doing this, right? They're anxious. Or I'm talking to someone like this, and they shift their weight back like this. There's a reason for that. Probably bringing this one from Alabama, right? Hitching. Picking, you see this, right? They do a lot of this stuff. Picking, hiking. If you can't see their waistband, you see it in the armed community a lot. Concealed carry, this, right? Guns are heavy. They weigh your pants down, and they're important. So even if I have a coat over this, you'll see this a lot. You can tell when people have a weapon because they kind of protect it. They want to make sure it's still there and it's still safe, right? If you think of picking, think about baseball, right? Professional baseball. You see these guys get up, and before they do it, with the gloves. That's my hate. 10 hours I'm watching these people. I'm like, just hit the ball. Get in there and hit the ball. Picking. But it's habits that they just start doing. And you'll see this. In the armed community, and people who start getting violent, they'll have certain habits that they do when they're starting to get anxious. And then target glancing. Right? So target glancing is a lot. You're having a conversation with me. You're trying to tell me what's important or what I need to do. And the whole time you're talking to me, I'm going, right? So I'm either looking for a witness or I'm looking for a way out. Right? Them are two things that are important. So if they're not paying attention to you, what do I do for these things? If I start seeing, and now, I don't want any of you, you're talking to somebody and they go like this and rub their eye and you go, hey, picking, I see it! I got me! It's a lot of different, you have to read a lot of different stuff. Understand, it's not one thing. But if I see you and you start doing this a little bit as I'm starting to have a conversation, it's starting to get heated, I'll call them out. I'll go, hey, listen, I see that you're getting a little anxious, right? You're getting a little upset. We don't need to go there. Let's just try to calm down. Let's try to have a little conversation, right? And how can we make this better? So I'll call them out. Or, hey, I see you looking around a lot. I'm here. Let's have a conversation. I'll talk to you, you talk to me, right? And for married people, guys, if your wife starts getting a little anxious, you just look at it and go, relax. That works really well. I'm kidding. Don't ever come into my little black eye. No. Don't ever say them catchwords, right? There are a lot of catchwords out there that bring people from 0 to 100 quick. Yes.
I'm autistic, and a lot of the behaviors that you're describing are things that I do normally in conversations.
Yeah.
How do you think, like, a lot of these principles apply to dealing with people? I mean, in our community that we deal with in crisis and things, there's a lot of people who have similar behaviors that fall under these categories that have nothing to do with aggression.
Right, and that's why we can't just, if you know, I see with the
I do
finger.
this a lot,
Right,
yeah.
right. But I can't just see that and go, oh, you're not, you're mad. I have to read everything, right? So if someone's autistic, and I can start to pick up on that because the training, they give great autistic training also for officers, and I can pick up on that, and then I can understand and go from there. Now, if you're doing like this, but you're going,
Yeah.
it's a little more than a tick, isn't it? Right? So that's why we start reading everything. I don't just pick one thing out and go from there. My son has a thing where he twirls his hair, and it used to drive me absolutely insane. Like, stop twirling your hair. What are you doing? But then I started to understand it was his tick. That's what it was. And we all have it. We all have it. I mean, my other son would always go, he played football, and he'd always go with his neck. And I'm like, is your neck hurting you? What's going on? But that was just his tick. That was his thing. That's what calmed him down, made him feel a little better. All right. I'm going to show you a video. I want you guys to look and pick out some of these pre-attack indicators, okay? So watch a guy in the orange jumpsuit. Yeah, what do you see?
Looking around.
Oh, what do you see? Yeah, bam, right?
Okay, these eyes come up real quick.
He showed it. He showed it. Target glancing, he looked back. Weight shifting, grooming, target glancing, seeing he was in the right space, and then bang, right? Now we're going to have some fun. Obviously, he didn't pick up on any of this, right?
He did.
He did, yeah.
He did, and you see him start to put gloves on. But then something over here averts his attention, at which time he sees an opening, right? So watch. Watch. He must be brand new. He doesn't have a clue what's going on. This guy's going, oh boy. Now look, watch his head. The minute he turns to see something over there, he strikes. Then he jumps in and goes from there. Okay? Now, my favorite. My favorite. So, you don't have to be the toughest person in the room. But, if you are getting your butt whipped, you better help. I better help. Everybody jumps in, controls, tries to help, because we cannot allow people to bring violence on others like that. That was word, right?
You have to work as a team as well.
A team. So watch my favorite guy of all. And I'm going to commentate through it.
Guy in the back.
Right here. Watch.
He didn't do anything, he just stayed there.
Watch.
Right there.
Thanks. Oh boy. Oh Lord. Oh my. Oh, boy. That looks scary. Okay. You guys gonna help get all right in there? Okay, now I can jump in. Don't be that guy.
Wow. Did he get fired?
I'll tell you a quick story. So I was fighting a guy on top of these stairs. And it was a fight. We were on the ground, we were going at it, right? He didn't want to quit, I didn't want to quit, here we go. This is going to be fun. And we're fighting. My Back up, Roseanne, female, comes running up the stairs. As I'm trying to go this guy, the guy's laying on his back. She gets right about there, he kicks her. And she comes downstairs. She gets up, runs back up, he kicks her again. She was halfway down. Gets up, comes back up, and helps me. And I was like, hell yeah. Right? You can't ask for anything, but you don't have to be the toughest person in the room, but she had no quit in it. She's like, oh, no, you didn't. That's all we can do. All right, debrief. Be sure to debrief co-workers, team members, supervisor after a major incident. Talking about it can relieve a lot of stress, pass important information on, and it's a good time to start planning what did we do wrong, what can we do better. Right? Debriefing is always an important thing. No matter how small you might think it is, talk to everybody and say, hey, this is what happened today with this person. Everyone needs to know that. I tell the correction, I train all our corrections, and I tell them this. Not everybody upstairs is a bad person. Some people just made bad decisions. Exactly. I made plenty of my life. I was just lucky that I felt this way, right? Because I was on that wall, I was walking that line, right? So we can't just treat everybody like they're the worst person in the world. But unless I can have you over to my house for dinner, I don't trust you. I'm sorry. I will respect you and I will try to help you in every way I can, but I don't trust you because I don't know what's going on up here. You might have been the nicest person for 3 weeks in a row to me, but then you got a phone call from somebody and your wife left you or your girlfriend cheated on you or your book. I don't know what's going on. So people walking in this door, in these doors, they can be the nicest people in the world every day. Hi, good morning, hi. And then one day something happened that made them switch. So we're just always paying attention, always being careful and understanding that we can be polite and also be on guard. Show respect even to people who might not deserve it, not as a reflection of their character, but as a reflection of yours. I love that quote. Just because you make bad decisions in your life doesn't mean I have to look down on you. I can respect you because that's who I am. That's the kind of person I am, right? Remember, it takes two people for de-escalation to be accomplished. You can work hard to try and de-escalate the situation, but if the other person has no intention of stopping their violent actions or thoughts, de-escalation tactics will not work. I've seen videos of people trying to talk as the person's punching them in the face. Time for talk is over. It's time to protect yourself. All right, I'm going to leave you with this. This is one of my favorite quotes. I have it hanging in my office. Watch. Watch your thoughts, they become words. Watch your words, they become actions. Watch your actions, they become habits. Watch your habits, they become character. Watch your character, for it becomes your destiny. Yes. Let me ask you this. Anyone in here, who all had children? Were any of them born with racist tendencies?
No,
That's taught. Kids are parrots, is what I like to call them. Yeah. They act like you. They watch you, they see how you act, even when you don't think they're listening. I have two little grandbabies, Lily and Stella. They're not Lily, we're 14 and 12. But I always call them Dumbo ears, because no matter where they're at in the house, we'll be saying something, and Dad's like, right? She's like, wait, what? What are you saying? Like, Dumbo ears, right? Kids listen, man, and that's the only way we have problems. So I love this. You guys got pictures? You're good? Everyone got them? All right. All right. That's my presentation. I hope you got something out of it. Like I say in every presentation when I'm done, as Sheriff Caruana, he's the one that allows me to come out and do this. If you ever get the chance to meet him, shake his hand, look him in the eye, and say what?
Thank you.
That Frank Ingardone is the best instructor I've ever seen in my life. So I've spoken to over 60,000 people with these programs, and I tell everyone at the end of it, And the sheriff's a friend of mine. So he'll call me, he's like, I'm at the store, and this lady walks up, you're the sheriff, right? He goes, I am. She goes, Frankie, your note is the best. He goes, what are you doing? You're like, oh, I don't know why they're saying that. Questions I could try to answer? If not, that's my thing. Yes.
I teach our crisis population in the morning, and yesterday we were teaching on.
Okay, stop. I'm so down. I got about half of what you said. All right, go ahead.
I teach our crisis population in the morning, and yesterday we were teaching on problem solving at work, and they were talking about customers who bring problems to you, and then we started talking about de-escalation.
Yeah.
But then it kind of got derailed, and they wanted to talk about the line where a fight is turning physical and what they can do to not have it turn that way.
Not your choice.
Yeah, and especially I know here with a lot of people who have mental issues,
Yeah.
and it's escalating outside of their control. But yeah, I didn't have a good answer for them, so.
There is no answer.
Okay.
Once I decide to bring violence upon you, there's nothing you can say.
Yeah,
You have to protect yourselves.
and I think basically what we settled on is like, until violence happens, you can
We have a
de-escalate.
chance. Yes.
But as soon as someone, like, you can walk away, but if someone's following you or physically touching you, I
Right.
don't know, I'm
And
sorry.
if you get to the point where you know violence is about to occur, I mean, there's no problem with backing up, putting hands up here, and going, listen, no, this isn't going to happen, and get loud so everybody else starts. And a lot of times that'll make people de-escalate a little bit from there. But once they put hands on you, now we need to protect ourselves. And that is, I had this conversation with a pastor, and she's just anti-violence, which is okay. I mean, I wish none of us would have violence, but we do. And I told her that. I said, sometimes greater and more violence is the only way to stop violence. It's sad, but we have to understand it. And if you understand that, you'll be a little safer. You just will. Because we had a corrections officer got beat up upstairs, and the whole time the guy was hitting him, he was just doing this, and I watched the film and I asked him, I said, why didn't you fight back? Well, I didn't want to get in trouble. So the sheriff was walking by. I go, Sheriff, can you come in here? I said, did you hire him to get his butt whipped upstairs? He goes, no. He goes, so if someone's whipping his butt, he has a right to defend himself? He goes, absolutely. Okay. This whole, I can't defend myself, I don't want to get in trouble, I'll take the chances, right? But here's the thing, if I can stop your violence and calm you, then I need to bring myself down too. And that's a problem. So, the way I train officers, you lose control because somebody spit on you, somebody bit you. Them are two things that really irk me, right? Spitting on me or biting me. Or somebody's fighting you and we get them off, and now you're enraged, which humans can get. Now it's my job as the next person in to go, okay, I got him, just help go get a phone. I need to give you another job. Either, hey, just grab onto his legs, hold on to his legs for me so we can wait and we can get more help. Or, hey, we have him, go, call for an ambulance or wherever we're at in this situation. And it's just, I'm looking out for you. I've had to do this numerous times. I've had it done to me numerous times on the job where I've lost control and somebody else had to stop me. I had a guy guys were chasing him, I had him down, I knew him, I'm like, all right, cool, everything's good. And the guy that he fought with first came running up, went to kick him, I'm like, whoa, no, I got him, we're good. But you get to that level, man, you need someone to bring you down. All right, bring you down a little bit. So, you have to use violence to protect yourself, I get it, but understand you don't go overboard either.
Do you do CPR training?
I don't do CPR training.
Not CPR, CPI. Like regular tactic training to like.
Oh, like control tactics? I do, I train. Here's the thing. I train all of our deputies, corrections officers in the mat room. It's physical. I mean, I bring violence upon them, and they need to know what that. If the first time you're going to get punches in the face is on the job, that's not a good thing, right? You need to know what it's like to. We spray them with pepper spray. We make them go through a lot, but I've been on calls where I've been fighting with a guy and somebody came over my shoulder and sprayed pepper spray and got me just as much, and I had to fight through it. Yeah, but as far as training, like I do it for kids, for schools, and I do a talk, and then I just teach them how to protect the pretty, that kind of stuff, but.
Do you think that they should get CPR training here? I do.
Yeah.
Because they might just happen.
I know, and I mean, I can come back and just show you, the problem is, I've been training for a long time, right? It's natural to me. Teaching someone for an hour or two, and that's all you get, it doesn't become natural, right? It's something, for defensive tactics, you need to really stick with training. Join a gym. But I tell anybody, if every day you go out front, pick up a heavy rock, and put it over your head and put it down, great. God bless you. You're doing something. Better than sitting on the couch watching TV all the time, right? So, from that to training jujitsu, and there's a big spectrum. Or going to the gym, or doing cardio, or doing anything like that that will give you a leg up, right? But just like an hour.
I've been doing it for 14 years, so security.
Well, there you go. There you go. And that's good. A lot of times, all this stuff, the safe training, the stuff I give you before, hopefully will detour 99% of it. But there's always that 1% that you got to be careful about. Anyone here ever been attacked on the job here?
I'm not here.
Okay.
Not physically.
So I mean, what, we got 30 people in here or more, right? And not one hand went up. So that's a good thing.
That's pretty good.
So it is a small percentage, but there's always that percentage. And that's why we always need to pay attention to what's going on in people coming in, right? Especially with mental illness. Hard to regulate that and know where they're going to go. They can go off at any time, right? So, yes?
This may be as simple as asking the person to leave, but I've had it in class where two people are starting to get into a fight, and it leads to physical things outside the classroom. But how would you de-escalate that in the middle of a classroom setting where two individuals are bickering or fighting?
They're bickering, yeah. And that's, if they're just bickering, that's when you get loud and say, no, this isn't gonna happen here, right? You go over there, call for help, whatever. If a confrontation starts, let them go. If it's two people voluntarily fighting each other, hey, here you go, right? I'll call for help. Let them wear themselves out a little bit, right? It'll help. Now, if it's one person attacking another, we need to help them. Right, we need to help them. But, what was it my mom used to tell me all the time? Don't write a check that your butt can't cash, right? Sometimes you just need to wait for help. If I feel confident that I can jump in and stop this attack, great. But if I don't, then I'm just another victim in the middle of this. And it's not helping anyone. So, know what your capabilities are, and know you guys have, is this in here, or a teacher?
So I teach personal development or
In here?
department. Well, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have like alarm in your classroom, a panic alarm that you need help, or?
Our boss has it.
The closest thing is the walkie-talkie.
And thankfully, there's two of us now that co-teach in the classroom, but these instances happened where I was teaching myself in the classroom, and I was
Right.
trying to tell one individual to calm down, and they just had persistent.
Right. And again, if you can use some of these tactics and try to calm it down and try to give them options, hey, we can work this out, but I need you to set boundaries. I need you to go over here. You need to go over there. Getting distance is always good, where they're not looking at each other, right? That kind of thing. Do you guys have a code that, like up in the jail, if a fight breaks out, it's code 100, and everyone knows what that is, and they start coming? I don't know if you guys have a code you call.
No, but I know.
Because here's the thing about codes, is when violence erupts, it's scary. And your adrenaline spikes, and you don't really, you don't really know. If you just have simple code 100, or 100, that everybody knows what that is and can come flood. So I've been fighting a long time. I've for 40 years, right? If I start physical violence on someone, if all of you just back up and watch, it's going to be ugly. But if you jump in to help, and you jump in and more people come, masses of people on one person works really well.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? Start grabbing arms, start grabbing legs, holding on to people. A lot of times, holding on to people for a certain amount of time will start to bring them down when they realize.
But at that point, that's what they do, because CPI training, so therefore, they will know the good holes.
You just want to fight sometimes. I see she's like, let's go, we're bringing gloves in, we're gonna go. And, I mean, I can come show you how to hold legs, how to hold arms, how to put bodies. I can't teach you how to, Uchi mouth, full leg. Right? But I mean, I can try to help.
So I've been here 8 years.
Okay.
And I work in we like to run runners. We are the people that deal with the most atheist people. We got them straight from off the street.
Yeah.
So for the 8 years that I've been here, I noticed we do have to read. And that's what I learned how to do from the state when I first came. I used to be real quiet, but now I talk down.
Yeah.
So, but I learned that from the guests. You get to read, you're reading people, you're gonna read the room. You just about know when something's gonna take place. You know when to try to de-escalate the situation. You know when to step back. She just got it, she's gonna. She's
ready to just throw fists. So, and guess who's reading you the whole time?
They are,
They are.
of course.
Right. And that's why the AIM principle, having your image, being able to get across what you need to get across,
It's a time thing.
and building a rapport,
Yeah.
setting your boundaries,
Yeah.
letting them know what they can and can't do, right? They'll
Making
learn.
examples also. Sometimes we have to make an example. You're gonna get to a point where you're gonna have to make an example. That everybody knows what you explain when they first come in. Once you do that, they understand that you are the person that told them that rule. So when you look at them, you're like, you know that.
Right.
So they already know.
And that's the thing about rules.
Yeah.
I give you a rule, gotta be the same rule for her. They will see that all day long. If I let you get away with something and not her, they'll call you. They'll see it. So, all right, any other questions? We're getting to that point. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.
Thank you.
I didn't know